Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to our new home on Mars. Last time I was building up the dome. I right now have a habitat, a small living quarters section. We have a small hydroponics farm, and we have the water reclamation system, which is going to make this thing require far less water. Now, I played quite a bit in the meanwhile, so I have a much better grasp of the game right now. Some new things that you might not have seen in the previous episode because I installed them in the meanwhile through mods is this bar at the top of it. This is a mod that's going to allow you to very quickly see all of your resources. Are they going up? Are they going down? Is your power still okay? That's a very handy one. The other one, and I don't have one at the moment, is a drone, a cargo drone. I'm going to order one right now, come to think of it, an RC transport. Normally, you can send these things out to depots, you can send them out to depots if you want, but mostly to deposits, such as, let's see, is there any, yeah, right here. There's a metals deposit over here, and you can tell them to pick it up and ferry it back to your little outpost and dump it on one of the either universal depots or specific depots. But I now have a mod that does that automatically. And in the same fashion, I have a mod that automatically dictates where your scientists need to go in order to very quickly sort out the jobs, so you don't have to do that too much as manual labor. Now, in the meanwhile, I still have 3 orbital probes left. I might as well use them now, but I first want to research the fact that they can do deep scans, which means I know a little bit better where to go next with my outpost. So let's research that. And I'm going to queue up a few more. I would like to get through the research tech for robotics as quickly as possible, because especially down here you have some really good research with some really good new tech options. Let's go for the RC Explorer and potentially the drone hub after that. And I'm queuing a few more because every time I research an anomaly there's a chance that I'm going to get a fairly large resource or research bonus, which is nice to have. Now, in the meanwhile, I'm going to try and get in some colonists. I have 14 residential slots and 9 work slots, so I can get a few more people in there. And I would like them to start producing their own food. So for that we already have the Hydroponics Farm, and eventually I'm going to replace those with the actual large farm, which at the moment is only visible here, but I need to research to actually unlock the building. We're going to have a few of these, and this should allow the colonists to at least get their own food production going. Normally I would start out with mining this stuff, but I'm afraid it's too far away from the base. Yeah, it's too far away from the dome, so I cannot actually use this at the moment. So let's speed things up. The RC Explorer,
incoming.
I have to fix this thing back up.
Sector scanned. Pipe leak reported.
Of course, with all of these impacts from the meteors, we're taking massive damage.
We have a water shortage.
And it's actually crash landing polymers right on top of my base, but fortunately my little my little drones are still operational. So hopefully they can repair this quickly and get all of these additional facilities back online. And of course everything starts to complain that it doesn't have any power at the moment. Well, deal with it. I'm going to turn off all the farms for now. We're going to have to add a few more buildings to make this place a little bit more interesting to them.
Meteor incoming.
So I'm going to have an infirmary. I'm going to have the grocer, where people buy food, and the diner, where they can eat, and then in the middle of that we can have a statue. Look at all this damage here.
Cable fault reported.
Yeah, no surprise. Cable faults, pipe leaks. Everything's taking a fairly good beating thanks to that meteor storm. Also, I need to sort this out. I found that the universal depots are not the best way of storing resources. So I'm going to sort these things out by giving each thing its own depot.
Meteor incoming.
And I'm going to have that right next to the drone hub over there. Not food, rare metals, polymers, electronics, machine parts, and fuel. And I need to store my additional resources somewhere.
Meteor incoming.
Here. This is a dumping site for the materials that are coming out of the concrete constructor. Or sorry, the concrete extractor. That's these waste rocks. Now, at this point, we only have 6 hours of meteor storm left, so that should not take too much time. Ah, crap. The RC Explorer got hit. Okay, it's time to call in a rocket that is going to do some more heavy lifting for me. So I want a rover. This one has a couple of drones with it. I want a transport. I can always use more drones. Let's have some machine parts, some electronics, and some polymers on it. And a bunch of food. This should make my life a little easier. Go.
Meteor incoming.
Yes, of course, there's another one. Fortunately, there is a building that can help you out with this. Ouch. And that can shoot down meteors before they strike.
Scanned. Select a sector to scan.
And that's going to make your life quite a bit easier. At least it's going to keep your life a little bit safer. And sometimes these meteors do actually do something useful and leave behind an anomaly like that. But... oh, the RC Explorer got repaired thanks to a drone. Oh, that's perfect. Alright, off you go then. Let's have a look at that anomaly. In the meanwhile, we're going to need quite a bit more power. As at the moment I have a shortage, and while I do still have some stored power, it will not be enough in the long run. So, considering I have a fairly large amount of metals in store, I can get a few more solar panels going. And let's set these up. Add a power cable. I have a couple of empty slots where I cannot fit a large solar panel, so I'm just going to go with a few small ones. There. Anomaly analyzed. That got me a nice boost. And I now have adapted probes, which means my probes can now deep scan, which means that they can also detect additional anomalies which haven't been detected in the first scan, and that they can find deep deposits. I cannot mine those at the moment, but what I can do is check them out later. See, there's one. This is a very, very large resource deposit for water, but I'm going to have to I can only extract it with the appropriate technology.
Anomaly found.
There's a bunch more anomalies there. Let's have you research that one. Do I have a scanning tower yet? Yeah, I have one sensor tower. Alright, in the meanwhile, the Stealth 1 is coming back with the additional rovers on it. We're getting a little bit more power as these solar panels are starting to come online. Do I have slots? Yeah, I have some more slots here that I'm not using. This is by far not the most optimal way of deploying the solar panels, but it works for the moment. Now, one important element in this game is money, and fortunately I get a little bit every time I research something. So every time I finish a research project, I get a little bit of cash. And I can export it. I can export the rare metals, so stuff like this, but unfortunately I placed my dome too far away from it, so right now it's out of range.
Cable fault reported.
And as such, I cannot use it. I cannot actually get anything there. Now, this RC rover can also help build stuff elsewhere, and it's brought a couple of additional drones with it. This thing houses 4 drones, and the other 4 drones that I brought are attached to the rocket. But once I decide to lift this thing off, it's going to revert the drone control back to the drone hub here. Alright, you just scanned something. That was another anomaly analyzed, so we got the Explorer AI done. Let's see, the drone hub. I can now build those once I complete it. I'm just trying to get as many of these research projects done here. The other research projects that I can do are the social category, but so far I haven't found them too useful, especially considering the fact that I don't have any colonists yet. Let's charge this Explorer back up. And plenty of anomalies left to analyze here. And it's full. Off you go. Right, we now have quite a few buildings for the colonists. They have a grocer, they have a diner, they have, I believe, a bar. Actually, sorry, no, I haven't built a bar yet. I want to try and raise their comfort level as high as possible. And a space bar, no pun intended, can do that. It can help with the level of comfort. The most important thing here is that if there is a birth early on, then that means that you immediately get the opportunity to bring in more colonists, which really helps. I might have to establish another living quarters here, and let's have a couple of research labs going.
Breakthrough discovered.
Ah, safe mode. What's that? When a colonist suffers a sanity breakdown, they fall asleep and wake up after 6 hours with 70 sanity. That sounds like something a lot of people can use, not just on Mars. Colonists can't commit suicide or gain flaws due to sanity breakdown. Alright, not something I'm going to go for immediately, but well, a little bit ways down the line it could be handy. Alright, Stealth 1 has been refueled. Let's send that thing home. It's going to transfer control of the drones to the drone hub, which now has control over 8. Oh, sorry, it transferred it to the RC rover. I don't need that many controlled by this vehicle. So let's hand off 3 more drones here. There you go. A couple of buildings not working. It's because we don't have any colonists yet, so that makes sense. Research labs are coming along nicely. The additional living quarters are coming up. I think it's time to bring in the colonists. Now I can pick specific types of colonists that I want or do not want on my colony by giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I want to have a couple of colonists which have the scientist trait, so I can speed up the research for additional technologies. I don't really need engineers. I could use a couple of medics to keep people alive. And I also want to have specific perks. I want them to have, surprise surprise, the sexy trait, which increases birth rate. I also want a couple of hippies along. Now this is ridiculous as a trait, but it gives them more comfort. And the reason why you'd want to do this is to, especially if this comes in tandem with that sexy trait, improve the chances of new colonists being born. So let's have a look. This one is a scientist. Lazy. Yeah, you're not coming. A botanist. Yeah, we can definitely use a botanist, come to think of it. Let's set that up. Oh, crap. Passenger rockets. Botanist. We need to be growing our own food. Geez, another lazy one. Workaholic. I like that. See, she has multiple traits that I want. She's a botanist, and she gains an increased birth rate. I want a medic. Another botanist. There's your lazy scientist again. This one is a religious, and he's an alcoholic. Not really what I'm looking for. Increases performance penalty when at low morale. Not ideal. Geologists, not what I need. Another medic. Not really. Scientists. There's another hippie, but this one is lazy. There's another hippie. It's weird sending hippies to Mars like that. It just sounds ridiculous to say it. Another scientist, and I'll take another botanist. I'm gonna have one more on here. So now we have 12 out of 12, and off you go. There's space for 0 new residents. That's true, because this dome currently isn't operational. I just turned it off to make sure that it's not draining too much of my resources. And in the meanwhile, I also would like to have a nursery in here. Oh, crap, I need to find some... Okay, I'm gonna scrap that. I'm gonna find some room for a park, because that's something that those hippies like. So we're gonna have a garden. And I'll take a nursery, so that if there's a child born, they can go right there. And then finally, I don't know, another small garden. Okay, so we can house 28 colonists. We have 23 work slots. Let's activate these buildings again. Now they're all morning work slots. I'm going to switch one to the afternoon and one to the evening. I'm going to have the infirmary online, the diner, the grocer, and the research lab. Doesn't have enough workers at the moment. Oh crap, they were online. There. Now we're generating a lot of power. I can store quite a lot of it, but I want to have a little bit more batteries on here to make sure I can actually use that power at night when these solar panels are not producing anything. In the meanwhile, let's send the RC Explorer off to do some further exploring. And together with the RC Transport... Actually, can I get these? Ah, damn it. There is a tech, and I don't have it researched yet. It's that one, autonomous sensors. They no longer require power or maintenance. I'm going to prioritize that one so I can build a few more scanning towers. And having these will allow me to just deploy those wherever I see fit, as long as I can get the resources there. Alright, activate the whole dome. At the moment I'm using more water than I'm creating. Really? With 4 moisture vaporators? There's a total demand of 2. Must be all these farms.
Cable fault reported.
Yes, of course there is. Not exactly sure what is causing such a drain on my water resources.
A magnificent vista at the site of the anomaly.
50 new applicants. That's handy. That gives me options when I'm about to pick my next portion of colonists. Look at that, minus 42 power. I hope I have enough battery power here. Enough power stored. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see about that. Because if I cannot make it through this night, that means that I'm gonna have to construct more batteries before I land these colonists.
Anomaly
as
found.
If they die, let's say that that is not a good thing for your colony. There's another underground rare mineral depot, or rare metal depot there. Again, I cannot really use it. It's too far away. Alright, it looks like we made it through the night. With well, quite a lot of power to spare. So let's bring in the colonists.
Scanned. Anomaly found.
Here's the Stealth 2.
Full of hope and determination.
Now we're now going into the founder stage. This lasts for 10 souls, and this means that in those 10 souls I cannot bring in any additional colonists. They must survive. And if there is a first human born on Mars, I can get additional personnel right away.
Milestone achieved.
So, welcome to Mars. Camera's a bit finicky, but this is what these people are looking at. Apparently gravity is a bit lower than what they were expecting.
New colonists have arrived.
There we go. They're running right into the dome over there. Interestingly, there does not really seem to be too much of an airlock here, as the one moment they're wearing their suit and the next moment they're just inside in their standard civilian attire. Anyway, we have a couple of scientists. These guys are going to help me research stuff faster. As you can see, we already get 131 research points from the science labs. Unfortunately, I do not have enough people to staff everything. At least they should be providing their own food for a bit. Although they will not be growing terribly much. It's just a bunch of leaf crops. Which takes forever to grow. I can get microgreens. This is going to provide me with 2 food per soul. That's terrible. You can get far better rates as you get to higher levels. Anyway, I'm still bleeding off more water than I'm able to produce. At the moment I have 54 points of water stored, but I'm definitely going to have to do something about my water shortage. Fortunately there's water right here. So let's get water production going. I'm going to need a water extractor. At the moment it's too far away from a working drone controller, but that is exactly what I have this one for.
Anomaly analyzed.
Alright, I'm going to take this thing off of auto gather, and now I can manually control it again. What I need for this constructor is a bit of cement and some machine parts. So that's what I need to bring with me. Oh, actually, I have 2 bits of metal depot. I should have constructed a concrete depot. Alright, we're going to load up some metals. I'm going to need those for piping as well as electrical wiring. We're going to need a bit of concrete. And off we go. Now, let's set up a power cable. Like that. These guys are now deploying their little drones. And the drones are starting to offload the materials from the RC transport right to the construction site. There we go. A little bit more concrete. I should have enough. At the moment it won't have power yet because they're still working on constructing this power line. And once the power line is done, it will have power, but it won't have a connection to the rest of the colony just yet. Because there are no pipes running down there. This is not where I want it. Oh. I usually just put my pipes right over the rest of these parts here. Over the electrical wiring. Alright, there you go. See that you can hook that up. Stealth 2 has been refueled. Let's send that on its way. See, must be connected to a water consumer. It's not producing due to lack of demand. It can produce more if required. Right now, the water pipe isn't finished. The moment that it is, it will be. And there will be a demand. Looks like these drones are still going back to collect some additional resources. I think this guy, yep, he's building a life support pipe. Alright, as he's working on that, we can set up research on another anomaly. We just completed the drone hub, so I can now build these things myself, provided that I have the required resources for it. And the next one that I want is... what do we go for? Yeah, let's go for a standard farm. That's going to be quite handy. Let's see about their comfort levels. They cannot get to gaming, they don't have a service building for social, and they don't have a luxury building. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Simply because I don't have enough colonists, I cannot use all of these structures. Now, I do have enough food, so I'm going to shut down some of these structures, forcing them to find jobs elsewhere.
Sector scan.
Which means that these buildings are now going to be useful. The infirmary is already producing with the 2 medics that I have. Or actually, there's a scientist working there. That's unusual. I don't want people working the grocery during the day. I want them to work the infirmary at some other shift, the diner, Afternoon and
The
evening.
rover went dark for 5 hours.
Oh, great.
When it rebooted, it confirmed it had come into contact with an unusually high voltage electrical charge.
Alright, this is good. It has malfunctioned, so it needs to be repaired. That's a bit of manual labor for my drone controller. But I do get a tech boost for low G drive. Autonomous sensors, which is the one that I was researching. And I get a 200 million bonus in funding.
Research complete.
There you go, autonomous sensors now complete. Alright, I want the rover to head over here. I don't need to particularly order him to go all the way over there and park right next to it. It'll sort that out by itself. And I want to pick up a few of these electronic parts. I don't need too many. I believe there's a bunch more here. Yeah, 2 more electronics. Alright, time to set up some more scanning posts. Because as you get farther and farther away, the scanning bonus decreases. Okay, oh, never mind. Sorry, these things were already deep scanned, weren't they? Yep. Sensors can now be scanned, or sectors can now be scanned again for deep deposits. So that's already happening. But it's too far away to actually be easy to do. So I'm going to set this thing up here. You can stay here. All I need for these is metal and electronics parts. That's all that they require. So I'm going to set up a few of these along the surface of this outpost. And that should make it a bit easier. There you go, he's picking up... Ah, he's picking up metal from somewhere else. Perfect. Alright, that's one. Let's do another one here. I'm not sure why we have this guy pinned. Don't really need that. Comfort is very, very low. Unfortunately, there's not too much that I can do to change that in a hurry. Let's see, soil adaptation is being worked on, so I can start to build farms pretty soon. What's next? Utility crops? No, that's not too interesting. This one's nice, the Stirling generator. Especially if you use it in the closed feature, the closed way of it. It's going to not pick up any dust. So you basically have a permanent 10-point power generator. Factories, I don't have any factories just yet. Cargo space increased by 10,000 kilograms. I can build my own fuel refinery. I'll take decommission protocol next. Because with that I can take down these hydroponic farms and build one large farm instead. Oh, we got a new breakthrough. Schools can train the workaholic and hippie traits. Interesting. Alright, this one is done researching. But it is starting to see a little bit of battery recharge. It's going to need one. There's another scanning outpost, or scanning tower done. We're still getting a sensor boost here, 164%. Right here, the sensor boost, of course, is still very good. It's starting to drop off here, so this is where we're going to go.
Sector scanned.
Sensor tower. I want the rover over there, and I want the RC transport over here. And I'm going to set up a small recharge outpost here. There. This is going to be a support point for my rover, so they don't have to go all the way back there. There they go. Alright. Their comfort levels are still stuck around 36, 38. I still need to survive for another 7 days. That should be easy. Alright. Do we still have enough metal on board? Yep, we do. Perfect. Because now I can charge these rovers at their current location. Charging battery from the power grid. And once this thing is done charging, I can also charge up the other guy. Now I still have enough resources on board for one more scanning tower. And I'm going to deploy that one here. This sector.
Research complete.
So another sensor tower. We just completed the farm. I can now build those. Charge up. RC Rover, get over here. And you're good as done. You can come here too. Alright, this one, the RC Explorer, has been recharged. Unfortunately, there are not too many anomalies left, but there is one down here. This, I believe, is going to get us a breakthrough. Or at least I hope so. I still haven't quite worked out what the difference is. These, yeah, the bottle one. These give you a boost with the current research. So that's a quick research boost. These actually unlock new technologies. Oh, we have an idle extractor. Apparently there's no further concrete to be gained here. It's not a huge issue at the moment, as right now I have plenty of concrete. And concrete maintenance is only 0.7 per day. Machine parts are starting to run out, and we're going to see problems there in the next 15 to 16 days. So eventually I'm going to have to bring in another rocket with further cargo. Now I can bring in cargo rockets, but not passenger rockets. That's the difference here. Alright, you're working on that.
Anomaly analyzed.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Now with these I can now get the atomic accumulator, battery optimization, biome engineering, Martian education and storage compression. Means that a couple of these things have now been unlocked without me needing to go further to or through the research tree. Especially happy about this one. This really helps. Battery optimization. Farms increase the comfort of all residents in the biome. In the dome. This is also very nice to get, especially after I decommission the buildings that I have. So those hydroponic farms. I can now work on getting the farm, and the farm is going to increase comfort. And comfort is very slowly going up.
Sector scanned.
No resources down there. Okay.
Milestone achieved.
Ah, we produced our first bit of food. Look at that. Okay, up here I would also very much like to get a support point. Unfortunately, I do not have any further metals. So I'm going to cancel these particular sections here. That's going to take a while.
To scan.
Scan that. I want to see if there's any metals in there, so that I can set up another support point up here. Hang on, where are you going? That's polymers. Polymers are always nice to get. Further polymers. Must have crashed in from a meteoroid. Got it.
Research complete.
Alright, there's another anomaly complete. Now that's perfect, because right now I can decommission these hydroponic farms. So I can salvage these parts. There's one. Destroy that. Destroy that. And destroy that. Drones are rushing in to help out there. I also want to delete the small fountain, because it's going to be in the way.
Sector scanned. Anomaly
okay,
found.
And now
Select
we can deploy a farm.
To scan.
There you go. We have some metals here. That's good news. Let's continue scanning these zones along the borders. And up here, there is metal. Trust me, that bit of rock was there before. You just didn't see it. And up here, I want to have another support point.
Pipe leak reported.
Oh, it's too close. Actually, it's so close to this RC rover that it's already automatically bringing in the resources from the drones. Alright, what are we researching next? Oh right, the bioengineering, so that the farms increase the comfort. And I think that the next research should be that one. Okay, and considering that a half hour has passed, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you're enjoying it so far. I still really like the game. I think it has great potential, especially as Paradox has published a whole roadmap that they plan to follow with this game. My colony is still starting up, and it's going alright. It's going to need quite a bit more work before we actually become self-sufficient, but we still have plenty of episodes left. So, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more.